This story, but we begin tonight with the future of politics in our very own state. Governor Pritzker celebrating his re-election today.
But his message for former President Trump on election night raising some questions about his plans. Political reporter Craig Wall starts our coverage tonight.
Governor J.B. Pritzker has fended off questions about his interest in running for president for several months now, but last night's speech only further fueled speculation. Today, the governor once again trying to keep the focus on his intentions on running Illinois, not running for higher office. As he reflected on his big win last night, Governor J.B. Pritzker saying today that people should not read anything into his victory speech, dismissing those who saw it as something intended for a national audience.
I wanted to make clear what I stand for, that's all. I'm an Illinoisan through and through. I want to be the governor of Illinois for the next 4 years.
He's just kind of talking about it, I think, peripherally, and that's a safe thing to do right now, I think. If the country comes calling for him to actually do something at a larger scale, right, then he's willing to do that. And I think he made that clear last night and also this morning in his speech.
But with Donald Trump poised to announce a second run for president, Pritzker said the election was a repudiation of the former president, with so many of his endorsed candidates losing or underperforming.
Republicans who gladly had Donald Trump come into their state and campaign for them lost. Just look at my opponent.
As for Darren Bailey, Pritzker described an awkward phone call from the Republican after the election was called.
He said, Governor, I want to congratulate you. And I said, well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And he said, okay, then. That's the entire call.
And as politics now shifts its attention to the Chicago mayor's race, and Congressman Chuy Garcia planning to announce tomorrow that he is running, Pritzker said people should not read anything into his campaigning and taking pictures with Garcia on Election Day.
I am not taking sides in the mayoral race. I am focused on, the job that I have ahead of me in my second term.
But despite Pritzker repeatedly saying he's focused on being governor, his national profile, and the questions about voter support for a Biden second term will continue to keep Pritzker's name in presidential discussions about 2024. Back to you.
Craig, thank you. Democrats also dominated congressional races throughout Illinois, winning 14 out of the 17, including 3 in the Chicago suburbs. Sean Casten, Bill Foster, Lauren Underwood, all winning re-election last night.
And a longtime leader within the Illinois Republican Party is stepping down after last night's results. State Representative Jim Durkin says he will step down as State House Minority Leader at year's end. Durkin first won the job in 2013 and was seen as a moderate voice within the party. But in a statement today, Durkin says it is time for new leadership to attract more independents into the party. And President Joe Biden remaining optimistic, calling yesterday's midterms a good day for democracy. This after Democrats held off a predicted Republican red wave.
While we don't know all the results yet, at least I don't know them all yet, here's what we do know. While the press and the pundits are predicting a giant red wave, it didn't happen. And I know you were somewhat miffed by my obsessive optimism, but I felt good during the whole process.
The president says he is willing to work with Republicans should they take control of the House. So let's take a look at where things stand tonight. Rob.
Yeah, Cheryl, right now we want to look at the balance of power and how it's shaping up. And let's start with the House of Representatives. And you can see here, Republicans now have a net gain of a net gain of 12 seats. So I'll get my tab to work here if I highlight it right. So the Republicans now standing at 215 seats in the House, a plus 12 gain to Democrats that are sitting at 193. Still some races coming in, but this is looking like Republicans are going to get to the point where they will gain control of the House. And we want to talk about what to expect should Republicans take control. And Dr. Suzanne Chad, professor of political science at North Central College, joins us now. It's great to see you again, Suzanne. How are you doing?
But it's been a fun couple of days.
Yeah, I tell you, that's a good way to put it. Last night was pretty intense for a lot of people as we watched the returns come in for the state of Illinois. But now that we have those results in, we're zooming out to the U.S. House. As you look at some of these races that are still up to the air, I just kind of touched on this. You believe also that Republicans seem likely to take the House?
I think absolutely. I think looking at what's left to be taken, which seats the Democrats are defending that are toss-ups are likely, and same on the Republican side, that it looks like that it's going to be a Speaker McCarthy come January. And the big question is by how many, right? They wanted a large governing majority, 20 seats or more was what they were hoping. It's looking like they might only have about a 5 or 6 seat majority, which is less than what the Democrats had coming in, which makes it really difficult to govern when your margin of the majority is really, really small. So it's not what they were hoping for.
They need 218 seats to get control of the U.S. House. I thought it was interesting today. Oh, 2 more House seats. Okay, so Michelle telling me in my ear 2 more House seats for the Democrats. So let's change this to adding 2 seats for them. That will get them up to 195, still short of what they need, obviously, to get to the 218. Did you hear about Kevin McCarthy's call to President Biden? He's saying that today, that he reached out to the president to start talking about the balance of power. I found that surprising. This has been 2 divisive sides, and then as we see this balance of power sort of shifting, Mr. McCarthy reaches out to the president.
You know, I think what probably sparked that, honestly, is the fact that they're not going to have a large governing majority. And so there's not going to be sweeping things that they could push through. And if we're thinking ahead to 2024, which they inevitably are, the Republicans, if they have the majority, need some legislative wins, and they're going to be working with the Senate that we don't know what's happening there yet. And so reaching out to President Biden is a strategic move, I think, for the incoming, most likely Speaker McCarthy, to see if he can try to gain some, sort of get rid of some of that bad blood maybe, and gain a little bit of a relationship, because it serves the Republicans' interest to be able to get some things done moving into 2024.
And maybe that's going to start to change here as some of these candidates change as well. Let's go to the House, or I'm sorry, the Senate. So here we are for the U.S. Senate. There are still 4 seats out there. The Democrats gained a seat with John Fetterman defeating Dr. Oz, but there's still 4 races out there. Alaska will be a runoff between, or a special election between 2 Republicans, so that's going to go. Alaska's going to stay Republican. It looks like Nevada too close to call right now. Arizona too close to call. So is this going to come down to the state of Georgia again?
I have to say, I feel so bad for the Georgia voters. Can they get a break? It's just election after election. It's voting after voting. And most likely the answer to this is yes. I think Mark Kelly is going to come out victorious in Arizona. I think that Catherine Cortez Masto, her chances in Nevada, I think that was always the race Republicans were expecting to pick up. And so, and to your point, we're going to have probably Lisa Murkowski is going to keep her seat in Alaska. So it is most likely going to come down to that race in Georgia, just like it did in 2020, which that means we're going to see an exceptional amount of spending in the next month up to that runoff, and really a lot of pressure on those voters to get out and to decide the balance of power in the Senate.
Let's dive a little deeper into that. So Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker did not get 50% of the vote, so that triggers this runoff election. There was already a lot of money that got poured into this race. What do you anticipate? We're supposed to hear from former President Trump next, making an announcement, he said, at Mar-a-Lago next Tuesday. Now that's up in the air. Do you see a lot of people, a lot of Republicans, prominent Republicans heading to that state for Herschel Walker, and then you would think the opposite would happen for the Democrats? It's going to be even more money, I think, is heading to that state until December 6th is when the voters will vote there.
Absolutely. We're going to see not just the parties are going to be throwing more money at these races, but it's the outside spending. It's the PAC and super PAC spending, the untraceable dark money, the wealthy individual donor money. That's going to be coming in, pouring in even more, especially if we don't know who has control of the Senate and it rests in Georgia. And we are going to see the most prominent Democrats who are very popular. It might not be Joe Biden coming to Georgia, but it might be others. Stacey Abrams, who just lost the race for governor. Her life's work has been getting people, disenfranchised, minoritized people in Georgia to the polls. She's going to be working hard. It's going to be a very, very eventful month.
Your prediction?
Oh, this question.
I
so
know.
if we look, no, I like it. If we look at the fundamental structure of the race, it looks like, although close, that Warnock most likely will come out victorious. But I will note there is a lot that can happen in the next month. But that's where it's looking like right now, at least.
We appreciate your time, Suzanne Chad, professor of political science, North Central College. I hope you join us again after this last race gets fixed or gets decided in December. And then we're going to have to start talking about, is Governor Pritzker going to announce? I mean, we've got a lot to talk about in our political world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope to talk to you again soon. Have a good night.
Okay, you as well. Remember, you can find full election results. They're on our website. Grab your phone, scan that QR code. It'll take you right to the link where you can find the numbers. It's a little calmer, Cheryl, here than it was last night at this time, right?
Yeah, and just buckle up. It's going to be an intense next 4 weeks coming for us.
Right? Look at that clock. Remember, it was almost at this time down to the minute that the AP called the race.
Right, 7:09.
Yeah, for Governor Pritzker. And we were sitting here on set like, wow.
You guys didn't just pack it up and like head home after that?
Governor Pritzker said he thought he was going to win, but he did not think it was going to be as early and as soon as it happened.
Did anybody?
So, no, and you know, the weather was not on the ballot, but it was sure winning last night, and it did not affect, you know, any of the voting here in our area.
It didn't. Yeah, that was nice. And today, are you kidding me? We're in the mid-60s.
Yeah.
Are we going to set a record tomorrow?
We're going to be close. Yeah, and what it is it's that big artificial snow money that's in the system. You know, the artificial snow people want to get their cut here. We're not seeing any so far, and that's what you have to do is kind of blow the snow, I guess, for the resorts. But we're not going to get that for us, of course. Now out to the west, they have been needing to blow snow because it has been so warm there too. Now for us, taking a look outside, by the way, little air traffic coming out of O'Hare right now on a beautiful, beautiful evening for us. So temperatures still in the mid-60s, 66 in Midway, 65 in Joliet, 66 degrees out there in LaSalle. And well, these temperatures are not going to slide very much tonight. I think upper 50s to mid-50s at the very coolest will be where our low temperatures end up. 65 right now in Chesterton and 64 degrees in Munster. Winds are out of the south, and that is keeping things on the warmer side. So as I said, upper 50s, lower 60s for those lows. Partly cloudy to mostly clear skies tonight. Zoop, there we go. Up to the lower 70s for tomorrow afternoon's high temperature rather, and that will be right neck and neck with the record. Record is 75. I've got 74, maybe 75 in the forecast for us. It's tough to forecast a record high temperature in the 70s this late in the season, so just kind of, you know, like hedging my bets a little bit, keeping it at 74 and hoping maybe we go to 75. We'll take a look at that forecast in more detail.
Oh, thanks, Greg. It's all gravy if it just stays that warm. My goodness. Take a look at this. Right now, family and friends honoring a high school soccer player who died after contracting mono. This is a live look at the stadium at Shepherd High School in Palos Heights, where Ryan Plowman was a standout soccer player. Plowman died over the weekend. The 17-year-old had Crohn's disease. His immune system couldn't fight off the mono. We have covered his story and have talked to his family before. Obviously heartbroken. I believe he passed last week, and just so many people honoring him tonight. He seemed like a wonderful person.
Yeah, so young.
Loved, so young.
Old. And tonight they are celebrating his life and how he touched so many people. And we talked to some of his friends, and everyone said he was a light when he walked in the room.
Yeah.
He lit up everything. His enthusiastic personality. He was talented. And we're thinking about and praying for the family tonight
his friends,
as they celebrate his life and legacy there. A Northwest Indiana middle school is mourning after a crash in Portage claims the life of a 24-year-old teacher. Lauren Thompson worked as an 8th grade English teacher at Chesterton Middle School, and police say that she died after she was rear-ended at an intersection last night in Portage, causing a chain reaction crash. Now, the school's principal releasing a statement in part saying Lauren was a shining star on the CMS faculty and was loved by her students and fellow staff members.
Investigators haven't released many details about a shooting involving an off-duty Chicago police officer. Happened this morning near Grand and Laramie on the northwest side. Sources close to this investigation tell us the officer became involved while possibly trying to intervene in an attack on someone else. Police responded to what may be a second crime scene near Fullerton and Austin. Officers say they found a vehicle riddled with bullets.
And Westside residents are on edge tonight after a rash of armed robberies. Chicago police issuing a community alert after at least 15 incidents reported in about 2 weeks. The latest incident happening on Sunday afternoon near the 600 block of St. Louis Avenue. Now, police say the suspects often display a weapon and demand the victim's car. A victim was even pistol whipped in one of the incidents, and police say Hyundais and Kias are also the most common targets for these carjackings.
As one election ends, another ramps up. A key endorsement announced in the race for Chicago mayor, SEIU Local 73, throwing its support behind Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson. Another big boost in union support for Johnson, who's already getting support from the Chicago Teachers Union. The endorsements mean more help in fundraising and get out the vote efforts.
The challenge in this moment is, for too long, workers have had to negotiate their safety. Why are we negotiating safety for the people who live in the city? That should be a guarantee.
Both the SEIU and CTU, big supporters of Chuy Garcia's failed run for mayor in 2015, and we reported this earlier today. Garcia is expected to announce a new run for mayor tomorrow after he just won re-election in Congress last night.
Right, I told you, you got to buckle up. It's going to be a really interesting next several weeks and months ahead. Well, a postal worker may have saved a woman's life. She noticed mail was piling up at one home.
Turns out the woman who the mailbox belonged to was in need of help. Michelle Gallardo has more on the postal worker who's making Chicago proud.
Kim Gillis has been walking her Downers Grove mail route for around 7 years now. 2 weeks ago, on October the 24th, she walked up to one of her elderly customers' homes and noticed something unusual.
She had a couple days worth of mail in the box, and then when I looked down, I saw a couple newspapers. So then I got alarmed.
Gillis immediately alerted one of the woman's next door neighbors, who in turn alerted a second neighbor with a spare key, Jean Essler.
From the heart, I just knew that something was wrong. You know, and I knew I had to let someone know that something was wrong.
I hadn't used the key in I don't even know how many years. It was a long time, so I didn't even know if it was going to work.
Thankfully it did. The woman in her 90s had fallen inside her bedroom.
You could tell she had been there for quite a while. She had a piece of her front tooth missing, so she obviously hit something. And she was just laying there, crying.
As it turns out, she'd been there for around 4 days. Gillis is now being called a hero. She says she just pays attention.
I know the routines of some of the customers, you know. I could tell when they're home and when they're not home. I'm glad that I was there to say something. And I noticed.
We're grateful to have her, so I told her she can never leave us.
The good news is that the injured woman did not suffer any broken bones, and she is now recovering at a nearby rehab facility. In Downers Grove, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
I mean, going above and beyond the call of duty, looking out for her customers and, you know, along that route.
Sensing, I mean, just...
She's family now, and she always has been, because we get to be friendly with our postal carriers because we know them every year.
That's true. I do. Our UPS guy, Paul, is one of the nicest guys, and we like him particularly because he always is a treat for Snoop.
Right, see?
Yeah,
because he's like, part of your family now, and he knows you've got a new dog added to the family.
But that is next level.
I know. I mean, she was just really paying attention, too. It's like, I know something is up here, so.
Listen to her sense.
We're very thankful for her service, of course.
She did a good
Definitely.
Job.
All right. She's making us Chicago proud on this Wednesday. Way to go, Wednesday.
Yeah,
That's what
perfect.
it is, right?
There you go.
We're talking about a celebration 104 years in the making. And you know what? We have the keys to a long life. We have advice for you. Yeah, hello, Queen. According to one local woman.
We need to listen.
Yeah.
Plus the effort to make sure everyone has a Thanksgiving feast.
But first, the problems Florida is already seeing before Nicole even makes landfall.
Nicole's heading toward Florida right now. It's a live look at Deerfield Beach. There are hurricane warnings from West Palm Beach to Daytona Beach.
And Nicole is strengthening into a hurricane today before making landfall on Grand Bahama Island. We expect Nicole to make landfall in Florida late tonight. Then the storm will weaken, we've been told.
Yeah, strong waves already causing problems in Florida. Look at this. This building in Daytona Beach shores collapsing as the water and wind hit it. And this is before landfall. Erosion causing many problems for people living along the beach, too. Rough waves hitting this house, which is also at risk of collapsing.
Oh, it is so scary. Now to St. Johns County in Florida. There is flooding already. It started. A voluntary evacuation order is in place for low-lying areas. County leaders are telling people if they flood during Ian, we'll expect it to happen once again. People have been getting sandbags in place, loading them up, and hoping that this is the last big storm for a while.
The last time I didn't really go too much. I'm going to try board it off just so the storm surge doesn't come in.
Hopefully this is the last time this year, and we're a good team, so we're getting it done.
Well, shelters have already opened for anyone who needs a place to go.
Nicole's delaying the launch of NASA's Artemis 1 rocket again. Next attempt to launch the rocket will be a week from today.
Okay.
First two attempts to launch were halted because of fuel leaks. Then there was concern about Ian. This thing can't get off the ground.
I know.
But they got to be safe.
Right.
We want to bend Greg's ear about Nicole, the strength of it, her, whatever we call it, because they do not need this in Florida right now.
But you know what? When you talk to people, Floridians, they would never leave.
It's beautiful down there.
I'm just going to wait it out, and hopefully this is the last one, and hopefully it's not as strong. Maybe, is there a possibility, Greg, that it could lose strength and maybe go left, go right, go up, down, something?
Back out in the Atlantic.
That would be nice, yeah, but just put on the brakes and was like, never mind.
Back off.
No, it's definitely on a beeline for Florida. The good news is it is so much weaker than Ian. It's not, it's apples and oranges. Yes, they're both hurricanes, but it's not going to be the same thing, which is great news. And not to mention, it's not hitting during high tide either, which is also just a little bit extra there. Good news. So taking a look here outside early this evening, a beautiful evening for us as we are anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees warmer than we were just 24 hours ago. And that little warm up, we're not going to go ahead and fritter it away over the next 24 hours. Instead, with these winds out of the south, we'll keep building on our lead. Our temperatures may drop into the 50s during the overnight. I expect them to stay closer to 60 degrees around the lakefront, 65 Burbank, 65 degrees right now in Niles. And as I spread out, you can see why as we're tapping in to upper 60s and what were just recently lower 70s out there around like St. Louis and through Missouri. So we'll tap into that, but this is coming our way. I don't even need to put the numbers on here for you to see the progress of this front. There's Thursday afternoon. All right, so we get that good day on Thursday, and then Friday the cold air is in, and we have not seen contours like this over our area just yet. Those are teens as some low temperatures and 30s as high temperatures during the days. Futurecast showing that front as it makes its way through. That, of course, brings the cooler air, only brings a couple of scattered showers. So what's robbing all the moisture from it? Well, I think you can probably tell. We just talked about it. It's Nicole, at least the remnants thereof, moving up, taking all the extra moisture out of the Gulf and kind of sucking some of the moisture out of our front too. The cool thing about our front, as I spread out the view, is watch it. Basically acts as like a blocker here. It does not allow Nicole to make any more eastward or westward progress. Instead, spins it around, shoves it back up into the northeast. It'll be dealing with rainfall through New England during the weekend from this. And again, our front, just watch it. Push it on away. It's a pretty cool weather and motion type view there. If you're interested on the track details, right about midnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, barely a Category 1 storm, 74 miles per hour is hurricane strength. It hits at 75, drops to 50 pretty quickly, becomes extra tropical by early Friday afternoon. Winds only 35, but a ton of rain, 6+ inches of rain for some spots from that. All right, so I've got 74 to about 75 degrees as a high temperature tomorrow. That is chasing the record at 75, but watch what happens when that front moves through from 74, 75 down to 44 is a high temperature. We haven't even been in that territory for lows lately. 31 degrees as the high temperature on Saturday. Some flurries are possible on Saturday. Bears game on Sunday. Flurries in Indiana possibly. And then as we move into early next week, the clouds increase and whoo, is that some shovelable snow there?
Say that.
No. Stop it.
Go back the other end and
yeah.
cover, stand on the other end. Yeah, go there. Yeah, right there. Park it right there because we're just going to stare at Thursday.
Look at this lovely forecast.
75, you put it up there. You went for it.
I did, yeah.
Okay, you're going to go for it.
I did. I got to
Okay.
change the other one, too. I decided just going for the record. I think we're going to hit it. Yeah.
Ooh.
It was only 2 years ago we set the record. I remember that. I put Christmas lights up that day.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
tomorrow's a perfect day to decorate.
Yes.
Because we had to take everything down last week because it was super windy.
Yes.
So now is the time.
Measurable snow? Are you kidding?
No, I think it'll be measurable. I don't think it'll be shovelable, though. That's my word I made up, I think. Shovelable?
Shovelable.
All right. Well,
I mean, you could
you know,
add a
we
bolt
have
to
words
anything.
on the 7. We have words.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have them here.
Make them up as we go.
It
All
is
right.
the hour of power, and when you have the hour of power, you can make up a word called
If you say so.
shovelable. Can you spell that? Can I get an E
Shovelable?
and
Sure,
an
it could be
A?
right.
Yeah.
Is it in Merriam-Webster?
All out of vowels, you got to solve.
Besides the weather, another sign Thanksgiving's
Yeah.
approaching. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow, by the way. Black McDonald's Operators Association having its first turkey giveaway of the year at the McDonald's on West Madison in Austin. Estimate 2,000 turkeys will be given away between today and Saturday at several other McDonald's locations. Turkeys come with all the sides for Thanksgiving dinner. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
The Black McDonald's Operators feeds a lot of people.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of the stress away.
I mean, it's such a wonderful, kind act of generosity. You know, and
Yeah.
ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it, of course.
Nice.
You know, and I know they're going to be doing it several days.
Yeah,
My good friend Joe Soto of B103, he's going to be
good.
helping out, handing out tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. He's a good
So
dude.
I know, isn't he a great
Good
guy?
people,
So
yeah.
he's been talking about it on the radio. But you don't know what you need until you need it.
Yeah.
You know, and they come right there, and they just kind
Just
of
go and get your stuff.
make it. I mean, because family and food, faith and friendship, that is what Thanksgiving is really all about.
Four
So,
F's. I should write that down.
all right. Happy birthday to you. Yes, take a look, everybody. This is Mariah Henderson of Chicago Heights celebrating her 104th birthday today at a party with family and friends. Hey, Queen, she's so beautiful. She shared this bit of advice with us.
Be happy. And always try to make someone else happy.
Yes.
Boom.
Can you repeat that again?
Yes. Right.
Yes.
She is so sweet.
Be happy and try to make somebody else be happy too. What makes her happy? Yeah, she's eating it right there.
yeah.
She loves chicken wings, and we're so happy to say that she had some. They look delicious, and she had birthday cake. I saw her family and friends, and her sister is 96 years old. Miss Geneva was at that birthday party today. Her niece, Michelle, told me about this, and also President Biden sent a proclamation wishing her happy birthday. It's very cool. And I want to give you a little backstory about Queen Mariah. She has made history. She was a trailblazer. She worked in World War I. She is the queen of bingo, I'm hearing. She wins all the time, so don't play against her. Just play with her.
Not going to try. Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, I mean, that's 104. She looked amazing. She has a beautiful spirit, and she's happy because she said to make others happy.
I think that's the key. We can be happy, but if you can make someone else happy,
Yeah.
just like one person a day,
I know.
she made us happy.
Okay, I mean,
Mission
joyful.
accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the season of Thanksgiving, so thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
It's Way to Go Wednesday, Queen Mariah. Happy
deserve it.
birthday, beautiful Queen.
Hope you enjoyed your wings.
Yes.
Twitter's making some more changes, then decides to undo them.
Plus, King Charles III dodging eggs thrown by a protester.
University of Kentucky students seen on video hurling racist remarks at another student, now permanently banned from campus. School's president sent a letter to students today saying this woman, Sophia Rosing, is also no longer a student there. Authorities arrested the 22-year-old for attacking freshman Kyla Spring as she worked an overnight shift at the front desk of a residence hall. Spring spoke last night at a community rally.
And to Miss Rosing, you will not break my spirit. As Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, we go high.
Rosing's pled not guilty in court to several charges. Her attorneys telling ABC News she's embarrassed and regrets everything.
Well, the White House is urging Russia to improve treatment of WNBA star Brittany Griner as she is moved from a pretrial detention facility. Griner is set to serve the remainder of a 9-year drug smuggling sentence at a penal colony in Russia. Those are known for their lack of hygiene and access to medical care, with inmates often subjected to manual labor. And today, President Biden said he is hoping that Russian President Vladimir Putin will be more willing to negotiate Griner's release now that the midterms are over.
Dramatic and bizarre moments in England. Watch this, a protester throwing eggs at King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort. You can see guards trying to shield the royal couple as those eggs landed on the ground. None actually hit either of them. Several police officers you see later arrested that man.
Well, Facebook's parent company, the latest tech company to announce a big round of layoffs.
Major move to prepare for the first ever NASCAR street race here in downtown Chicago. Facebook's parent company Meta announcing plans to lay off 11,000 workers. Largest job cut in the company's history. CEO Mark Zuckerberg apologized for the reduction in employees in a blog post. Meta ad sales have been impacted by a number of issues, including privacy changes and competition from rivals like TikTok.
And the cost of carrying a balance on your credit card has hit an all-time high. The Federal Reserve's ongoing action to curb inflation has driven up the average annual percentage point 19.04%. Bank rates say that beats the prior record set back in 1991. Industry experts are predicting that shoppers will need to rely heavily on credit cards to pay for increasingly expensive gifts for this holiday season.
That's a lot of interest. Twitter rolls out a new gray verification check mark, then deletes them. The social media sites was using the gray marks to label official media outlets, government accounts, and public figures. They replaced the blue ones that indicate someone's identity has been verified. The blue check marks are now a paid service. When a user asks why his gray check mark disappeared, Musk tweeted he just killed it, adding, quote, "Twitter will do lots of dumb things in the coming months. We will keep what works and change what doesn't." It's been a ride. It's been a ride. You know, you are biting your lip so hard.
I know.
You know, I'm a Tesla fan and I want to be a Musk fan. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I just want tweets about news and sports. That's really it.
Just want to be a regular dude.
Just want to be a verified dude on Twitter.
I just don't want someone to impersonate me.
Yeah, well, right. Someone who's
Don't want to
probably
get hacked.
impersonating me is not hard. I'm optimistic.
Yeah, you stay hopeful.
You know I'm always optimistic about everything. Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning for Chicago's first ever NASCAR street race.
Well, the Chicago street race is next July 1st and 2nd. The route will run through downtown Chicago. And today, NASCAR opened its Chicago office to prepare for this historic race.
Welcome to our new home here in the city of Chicago. It's an exciting day for us. When we announced that NASCAR was bringing its first ever street race to the city of Chicago, one of our commitments from day one was to make sure that we establish ourselves in this community and be a part of this community.
This is beyond exciting. I'm like getting so excited. All right, the new office is in 2 Prudential Plaza at Lake and Stetson. Again, the tickets for the race, they go on sale for next July. They go on sale tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. I know people are going to be on 10 computers on their phones.
I'm so excited for this too.
Right?
It's going to upset a lot of people because they're going to shut down a lot. I mean, traffic's already a mess down here, right?
Yeah,
and once they block these streets off.
July 4th holiday weekends.
It's going to upset a lot of people.
It's going to be busy, but just think
it's like a
the
video
trade-off.
NASCAR on Michigan Avenue.
You know.
I'm going to come down. I think my boy and I are planning to come down, and if you don't get tickets, I'm thinking along the route you'll just be able to walk. I hope.
Or maybe like a hotel somewhere downtown.
They're already
upper
selling
floor.
out for views.
Yes.
They're already selling out.
Oh,
even
man,
just
if people
going up.
Live along that route too. Oh, that's going to be so cool.
If you're downtown, you're going to hear it.
Okay.
Those things are so loud.
Well, like the air and water show.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's the same thing. So, but it's just in the air. But this is going to be.
It'll be fun.
I mean, and I like being the first and making history. This city is always at the center of the universe.
I just hope it works, goes well.
Yeah.
Because this is new territory.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This will be fun.
Staying hopeful.
Yeah.
That's our motto.
Taking your Zoom call directly from your new car.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
The partnership and the questions being raised about this. Guess what? It's Tesla.
See?
I know.
Plus here from the gas station owner who's now a millionaire after selling that record-breaking winning lottery ticket. Greg, did you play? Did you win anything?
I did not. And Rob, don't worry. If it works, they'll keep it. If it doesn't, they'll get rid of it. The Zoom and the Tesla. So.
Oh, the Zoom. Oh, we talking about the next
all right.
Hold that, because we're going to explain it.
Yeah, but 73.
So you guys consultants. I think both of you are consultants,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah. 70s for our high tomorrow. It could be a record. We'll talk about it after the break.
Well, soon, everybody, Tesla drivers will be able to make Zoom cars so you can be accessible 24/7.
Zoom calls for my car.
Right, from your car.
I don't need that.
But if you need to be accessible,
right.
you know, this is
just call. My phone is
for
patched
you.
in. I can just hit hello. We do a lot of Zooms these days, though. Tesla made this announcement during its annual conference this week. You'll be able to make the calls from the car's touchscreen dashboard. So far, Tesla's not said what it will do to prevent drivers from making the calls while they're on the road, and Tesla did not announce a date for the feature to launch. So the car, I love electric cars, you know, full disclosure, I drive Tesla. I'm not alone, a couple other folks here do. It locks it usually when you're driving. So it's not like I could Zoom you. Good. Why would you want to see me while I'm driving?
Well, he doesn't want to give away his technology on how it's going to work because other people might want to.
Well, they do share that. I think if you're parked or you're charging, like we do Zooms in our cars.
A lot of people. We've gotten interviews, especially during the pandemic. Oh my gosh.
You put it in park, and there's an in-cabin camera that we don't have access to right now. Apparently, they're going to let us have access to that.
Yeah, okay.
Would you really want to Zoom? I would just rather turn the camera off. You don't need to see me driving. Hey. Hi, Cheryl. I'll see you at work.
On the way?
Yeah. Well, look out, you know, and bam.
We've got an assignment for you as soon as you get here.
Actually, can you shoot it right now?
Right.
Yeah, we got you on camera.
Can you turn your camera around in your car and then shoot?
Tell us where you are.
Yeah, go to that location.
All right. Well,
interesting.
It is
right?
going to be.
But he is always innovative thinking.
Yes, and it doesn't always work.
You've got to give him. And I mean, that's how the world evolves.
I'm tired of giving him credit. I mean, I'm so frustrated with the guy, but you're right.
Things, though, the world would not be where we are today if we didn't start trying something and trying.
Totally agree with
you.
you.
I mean, the internet. Remember, people made fun of that. Like, what? You know.
And we need to get to sustainable future, and I think Tesla, one of many companies, Ford's doing it with the Lightning. Hyundai makes great electric cars. Polestar, we were talking to Greg about Chevy. I mean, they're trying, and that's important.
Yeah. Doesn't the Tesla drive itself too, or something?
Sorta.
Right.
Yeah.
One of those, and park itself. And
depends
all these cars that park. Okay.
Yeah. I don't use that feature. I'd probably run somebody over, but we're getting there.
He's just kidding.
That'll be in my next story. Right. Changes are coming to the popular game Wordle.
Oh, okay. Do you play?
I haven't played in a while.
All right. Well, the New York Times announcing updates for this immensely popular internet game, including a new editor. There will also be a new word list created by the Times.
Of course.
And instead of the pre-selected words by the puzzle's creator, Wordle's gameplay will stay the same with some adjustments to focus on vocabulary that is fun and varied. The answers will also avoid plural forms of 3- and 4-letter words that end in S or ES.
You would like it, I think, if you tried it. Some people really enjoy it.
People love it, and I think it's a great family affair.
Yes,
people
and you
do
try
it
it, you can
together
share
with the
with
young, 3-generational.
It's good for our brains.
And yeah, we need to keep it moving and grooving. It keeps you young.
Yes, chocolate's good for your brain, right?
Yeah. Every other week there's a new study that says it is.
We're telling you it is, Greg. It's also big business. New data shows Hershey's reported a sales jump of 12.5% in the third quarter, and Mondelez, which makes Cadbury and other popular brands, saw its sales grow more than 9%. It's Hershey, not Hershey. Sorry. One research firm says the need for fun and stress maybe stress relief, maybe bump in sales. It's important to note these numbers and in September before most Halloween sales.
Oh, now that's amazing, because I was going to say I'm probably 200% of that increase because
the newsroom is because you fed us Halloween candy for a month.
October, but that was before, so the numbers are going to go up even higher.
You're going to take it up 1% on your own.
I think so, and chocolate is comfort food.
It is.
It makes you feel good. I had some before we came down here tonight. I did.
Did you have some after we didn't win the Powerball?
Yeah.
Snickers here and there.
I know. I got to take my ticket in to see. I might have won $4 again.
Oh yeah.
$10
speaking of
$15.
chocolate, you know who I saw? Did you see him today? I'm walking by your office and I see somebody chomping on a Snickers or something. It was Jose.
Oh, he was in the building.
Yeah, he stopped in the building.
I wonder if he got it from the Princess Pumpkin.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm having a Snickers bar."
Okay.
Yeah. So
he's
nice.
Been hanging out with all the Wakanda actors.
Yes, we ran a couple of his stories. He looked great. I said, "How you doing?"
Oh man.
Well, you don't see him much because he's working remotely and he just goes out on assignment. So it's good to see you, Jose.
Good to see him. Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed your chocolate.
Yeah. Hey, Jose.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot estimated at $20 million. Wendy got us a ticket. She's like, 20 mil?
Yeah, 20 is good, and you have better chances of winning tonight. However, I heard that the chances are the same.
They are.
A lot of money, but smaller than Monday's billion.
Right.
The winning ticket to Monday's jackpot. It was sold one ticket in California. So now the winner is a billionaire. The gas station owner where the ticket was sold is now a millionaire.
There he is.
Joe of Joe's Service Center is an immigrant. He came to the United States from Syria in 1980 with $14,000 to his name.
All what I do, I work hard, 7 days a week. I raise my kids, graduate from the college. I bought a house and I bought a business. all because I work hard and I can become an honest man.
Yes.
Two very strong words, hard work. We could learn a lot from Joe. He's planning to share his winnings with his family, including his 11 grandchildren. And I hear one of his children is having a baby on the way, so
Wow.
could soon be 12.
I love those stories.
I know, right? You want him to win. We're rooting for him.
Coming to this country and doing well.
What is possible? He is.
Yeah. So the odds are not changing. I talked to Wendy about this. She's like, we got a better
Right.
chance. I'm like, we really don't. The numbers are the same
Right.
that they draw from.
Right.
So maybe fewer people are playing, so you would have a chance to match all the numbers yourself. But
And not have to share it. Okay, right. It's the numbers. So
you're playing the numbers,
Yep.
not the people.
Mhm.
Michelle's telling us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why your chances.
Did you
are
buy
still the
one,
same.
Michelle? Anybody up there? No. Yeah, Monica, did you buy one up there?
Today is Wednesday.
I should win clearly.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
tonight
well,
is
tonig's a
Wednesday,
drawing.
right?
You still could
It's
tonight.
a drawing tonight, right?
Yeah.
So-
Lee, no? Yes, no? No, he's got a thumbs down. You, no ticket.
All right.
It's a waste. I agree.
Oh, listen to that editorial.
Well, we dropped like $40. You did too, but you won 4. So it's only 36.
4 twice.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
16.
Yeah, 4 twice. That's $8.
Whoa. Did Tesla do math for you?
Yeah, right. Yeah. This is why you're a meteorologist and I'm sitting up
he
here.
talks about his math skills.
They're bad.
And his mom, Miss Adriana,
$40.
talks about his math skills.
My brother graduated with a
Yeah.
degree in mathematics.
Of
He's a
course.
basketball coach now.
Right,
But
see?
the guys, yeah,
Statistics matter.
Yeah, they do.
In sports.
I'm really good at English, though, most of the time.
You're good at a whole lot of other things. That's okay if you're not good at everything.
Thank you. It's okay, and that's okay.
You're good enough. You're smart enough. And doggone it, you're just everything enough.
Yes, Stuart
Right.
Smalley. Thanks, Stuart.
All right, Britney Spears' life is on the big screen. We love you, Rob.
Thank you.
Maybe not, though.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
singer's
know.
new comments about the possibility of seeing a movie made about her life.
And Jennifer Aniston opening up about her past journey to try and have children. It's a powerful interview. We'll be right back on the other side of a break, everybody. For years, Jennifer Aniston has been the subject of pregnancy rumors and questions about why she did not have children.
Now she's opening up about her failed attempts to get pregnant. Aniston spoke to Allure magazine and said she tried IVF, but it didn't work. She says she has zero regrets about her life. Aniston also talked about social media and how she's not a big fan, but people love following her. Instagram crashed when she opened her account because so many people tried to follow her. Aniston says she only did it to launch her hair care line. Hopefully she understands. I mean, a lot of people want to just follow you and get a sense of what you're doing.
Your life.
Yeah.
And I saw a really powerful post. Someone, it's just words, and it said, you can post and still be a private person.
Right.
So, and there are ways to do that.
Is there something about, people love to hear, and I'm comparing us as different than Jennifer Aniston, they love those little tidbits about who we are.
that make them relatable
we're
to
people.
what we're doing. Like you're just normal. Like
Yeah, some
you
are
can't
bad at
do your math.
Right. I'm just a normal dude.
Okay. But for her, I'm so glad she's finally speaking out
Yeah.
and telling her truth, because she was pummeled in social media. They
with
took pictures of her and
the
said,
Brad
oh,
Pitt stuff,
congrats,
yeah.
she's pregnant, and she wasn't pregnant. And it was so, she even had a little skit on SNL. I don't know if you remember. She played part of the paparazzi, and she asked, someone pretending to be Jennifer Aniston on this skit. And it's no regrets.
There's so many trolls out there, especially for women. Like they go after you, and it's just
in so many different ways.
Weak people who take their anger out on anonymously. So, but good for her for speaking
young
out.
people, you have to have thick skin to do this for a living.
Very.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Don't expect a movie about Britney Spears anytime soon.
Well, at least not an authorized one, because Spears wrote a very lengthy post on Instagram yesterday. She told her fans she is not interested in seeing movies about her life, saying, quote, dude, I'm not dead. We have seen biopics of some people while they're alive. For instance, the movie about Elton John, Rocket Man. Well, Spears was the subject of a Lifetime movie, but had nothing to do with the production. And she recorded a hit song with Rocket Man, Elton John.
Yes.
One of her first after many years of not recording.
Hopefully, as she's now away from that conservatorship, she gets more comfortable, starts performing again. She hasn't really done that, right?
But she wants to own her own story.
Yeah, and then she can share it the way she wants to.
And have total control of how the story is told, because she knows her truth.
Yeah.
Not everything you've read is the truth.
Not according to her.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and she lived it.
Yeah.
Season 5 of The Crown,
Ooh.
now streaming on Netflix. Some are questioning the decision not to postpone the show so soon after Queen Elizabeth II's death. The season heavily focuses on the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage. Production on season 6 was suspended following the Queen's death. But filming on season 5 has already started. Has already been complete. And remember, it was it Judi Dench or who sent
Dame Judi Dench
to Netflix saying you need to put a disclaimer that this is fiction, which they did. But people are huge fans of The Crowd.
I mean,
The Crown.
Obsessed with it.
Yeah, I have not watched, but Wendy loves it.
I've never seen it either, but the acting and the storytelling is...
And it's incredible, right? And the timeline, because they started a long time, and now they've moved it along, and so now here we are at the time when Diana... It's the third cast?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
When Princess Diana does the interview with Martin Bashir, and there's 3 people in this relationship, that line just stuck with me. And of course, I didn't really know the true depth of that, but now fast forward. So.
And didn't Harry? Which one of them was Harry? Said he enjoyed it.
He said he didn't mind it because he said at least some of the truths are coming out. He said the stories are being told better than the social media attacks. So he said he'd rather see those stories told than the way he's been treated in the media,
which has been less than fair.
Yeah.
Greg, I heard you're a Crown
Big
guy.
fan.
Are you really?
Well, it is. This is bad. It's the only way I know anything about like the royal family. And
that's probably a lot of Americans.
You can read about it.
Yeah, I know, but it's way more fun just to sit and have TV
to have it acted out. Right?
Now, were you binge it, or you just kind of go in? Because some people just sit down and. Boom,
we used to binge it, and now it's like a night per week that we watch it. Yeah, when they come
it's
out.
a date night.
It
with
is
your
a date
wife.
night.
That's nice.
That and Fridays when I'm settling in to go to bed before the Saturday morning show, it's Great British Bake Off.
Okay. Oh.
Low stakes show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get some ideas.
Yeah.
You're
get some ideas.
Our Crown guy when we need to lean on you for.
That's fine.
Right, he's going to be our Crown correspondent.
There you go.
Okay. See,
I didn't know you have this flair for the British.
We have specialists for everything. Rob is the Kardashian correspondent with a K. Kourt Kardashian.
I thought I lost that job.
Well, kind of you did.
Can I resign?
Well, now we've got, Greg is going to be our Crown correspondent.
Crown correspondent.
He knows what he's talking about.
That's why. Yeah. He also knows a lot about weather.
Yeah. Well, same deal. Like you can read about the royal family. I mean, you can study meteorology and do the weather, but wouldn't you just rather have me TV at you?
Exactly. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Greg.
So let's take a look outside now. Our beautiful city here, and our temperatures are anywhere from 10 to 20 plus degrees warmer than they were just 24 hours ago. It feels a lot warmer right now. We're chasing record lows and record highs as we roll into the next couple of days. Much more likely to hit that record high temperature, anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles per hour worth of wind. It's out of the south, and that's what's keeping us still still at this hour, I see occasionally someone walk by in short sleeves on State Street in the mid-60s. I don't see why not. A lot of people are, have some sense and are wearing longer sleeves, but still, you can totally get away with it. Winds are out of the south. You got about a 70-degree temperature in St. Louis. I'm going to pull the temps off and let you watch this cold air spill across the Rocky Mountains. This is our incoming front. Here is our Thursday, staying kind of warm, right? Around 60s or 70s is high temperatures. First batch of cold air on Friday, reinforcing shot of cold air early on Saturday. Could drive our lows into the mid-20s. It is definitely going to be O'Hare's first official freeze of the season. We haven't had one yet. We were at 33 degrees twice. We recorded snow, but we haven't actually hit freezing out at O'Hare officially just yet this season. There's the front that moves through. It makes all that cold air come in. Thankfully, it's not going to get cold enough to see snow. And notice how all the moisture just kind of falls off of the radar. Why does that happen? Well, Nicole, or at least the remnants thereof, is going to go ahead and swipe some of that. Notice, though, how the front interacts with it and pushes that away Friday afternoon out into the northeast. They're going to get a lot of snow even through the Adirondack Mountains, way upstate north in New York. They could possibly see 3 or so inches of rainfall out of this. There's going to be swaths that catch 6 or more inches of rain as it makes its way into Florida. Of course, the biggest impacts, they will not be in upstate New York. They will be in coastal Florida, right around Vero Beach. That's where it makes landfall, probably just south of that, about 1 o'clock in the morning. So just a few hours away from making landfall. By tomorrow afternoon, it'll be about halfway across Florida, just north of Tampa. They're going to get hammered with rain there. And then it makes its way north, becomes extra tropical, and brings all that rainfall, as I mentioned, to the northeast. So I'm going about 74, 75 degrees, depending on where you are for tomorrow. Very quickly, though, it drops off into the mid-40s as a high temperature on Friday, upper 30s as a high temperature. Remember, that's the reinforcing shot of cold air that moves in on Saturday. Then highs struggle through next week. We see a rain and snow shower chance there, and you shave a couple of degrees off. That could be mostly snow, and we could possibly break out the shovel. Still trying to determine about that. But, man, we got a near record high temperature and then rain and snow in the forecast.
Oh, boy. See, I learned something tonight. Just because it's not 32, it's not freezing yet, even though it snowed.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right.
You can get it to about 35, 36.
Thank you. Still ahead tonight, the Penguins, speaking of cold, the Penguins soccer mascot working to get people excited for the Women's World Cup. We'll be right back. Take a look. You're going to see a lot of this official mascot for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Tazoon made her first appearance in Australia today. It's a combination of Tasman Sea and Unity.
Hi there.
I like it.
She fun.
All right. I know, right? See you at 10 on ABC 7. Good night.